Breaking news! The buzz is getting louder in Baltimore, and fans are already split down the middle on a question that's far from easy. One of the team's most reliable stars could be facing an uncertain future, and not in the way anyone expected. We're talking about a potential move that could shake up the core of the Ravens offense. But before we move on, make sure you hit that like button if you're a true Ravens fan. It's always amazing to see fans of all ages supporting this team. And if you feel like it, comment, "Go Ravens," down below and let's get loud for our squad. Let's get straight to it. Mark Andrews. Yes, that Mark Andrews. The guy who has been a staple of the Ravens offense, a top target for Lamar Jackson, and a leader on and off the field. Despite his massive impact on the field, the question of whether he could be traded still lingers. It's not a done deal, not by a long shot. In fact, there's zero chance the Ravens would move him before the season. That door was slammed shut when the team had the chance during the draft and didn't pull the trigger. That says a lot about how much Baltimore values him. But, and this is a big but, come the trade deadline, things could get interesting. The only way Andrews gets moved is if a contending team with a tight end crisis comes calling with a serious offer. We're talking about a team so desperate, so thin at tight end due to injury or other issues, that they'd be willing to pay top dollar in picks or players. In that scenario, the Ravens might have no choice but to listen. Not saying they would do it lightly, but in the NFL, timing and value talk. Still, fans should rest easy for now. Andrews is safe until at least mid-season. Now, while some eyes are watching Andrews, others are fixed on Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, wondering if either of them can repeat last year's incredible performances. Could Lamar crack the top 3 in passing yards? Could Henry dominate the ground game again and end up top 3 in rushing? According to the insiders, one of them probably will, but not both. As electric as they were last season, repeating that kind of production isn't easy, even for stars like them. That said, if even one of them reaches those marks again, the Ravens are going to be a nightmare for opposing defenses. And speaking of nightmares, David Ohabo's situation might be turning into one, but for the front office. A second-round pick once full of promise, Ohabo's journey has been anything but smooth. That Achilles tear coming into the league set him back big time, and truth be told, he hasn't bounced back in the way fans and coaches hoped. There's buzz now that the Ravens could be looking to cut or trade him. The belief? He's just not the player they gambled on. It's harsh, but that's the reality of the NFL. If they can flip him for value or free up cap space, don't be surprised if Ohabo isn't on the final 53-man roster. Now let's stir the pot even more. Jalen Ramsey. Yes, the perennial Pro Bowler, the shutdown corner, the guy who brings swagger and fear to any secondary. He's reportedly not participating in mandatory minicamp and could be on the trade block. Should the Ravens be in on him? It's tempting, no doubt. Ramsey on this defense? That's the kind of move you make when you're trying to win now. But there's a catch, $21 million in 2025. That's the cap hit Baltimore would have to swallow. Not impossible, but definitely complicated. Unless Ramsey takes a restructure or the Ravens clear major space, it's hard to see it happening. A smarter move might be going after someone like Jaire Alexander in free agency. Less financial risk, still a major upgrade. As for the identity of the team, don't let all these big names at wide receiver and tight end fool you. This is still a run-first football team. With Lamar Jackson, the best running quarterback in NFL history, and Derrick Henry, a potential top 7 all-time rusher, expect the ground game to lead the charge. Yes, the Ravens have a loaded receiver room, Zay Flowers, DeAndre Hopkins, Rashad Bateman, plus both Andrews and Isaiah Likely, but running the ball remains the DNA of this team. Games where Jackson throws 17 passes and they run it 35 times? Totally possible. That's how Baltimore beats you, by wearing you down and taking over the trenches. So what about the future? Who's set to bounce back in 2025? 2 names are on everyone's radar, Trenton Simpson and Nnamdi Metab. Simpson didn't even get a snap in the playoffs. He was benched at the end of the season. But insiders say his attitude has been top tier, and he's grinding to get better. He's hungry and could be a sleeper for a major comeback. As for Metab, his drop-off from 2023 to 2024 was hard to ignore. But with the Dafoe bulking up and the addition of Mike Green, the expectation is that Metab could rebound in a big way. And while the front office is scanning for impact players, the talk around Lamar Jackson's next extension is heating up again. Think Josh Allen's deal, 6 years, $330 million, $250 million guaranteed. That's the ballpark. And honestly, Lamar deserves it. He's already proven he's not just a dynamic player but the heart of this franchise. A contract like that would lock him in as the centerpiece of the Ravens through his prime. And with the weapons he has now, there's no better time to go all in. That brings us to the biggest hypothetical of all. What's the ceiling and the floor for this team? Could they really go undefeated? It's not impossible. Every game is winnable with this roster. But let's be real, this is the NFL. There are injuries, bad bounces, and upsets every season. Still, the realistic ceiling is 13 to 14 wins, and the floor, if Lamar stays healthy, is around 8. That's a solid range for a team that's all in on a Super Bowl run. Now here's the real question. Should the Ravens actually consider trading Mark Andrews if the right offer comes at the deadline? Let me know in the comments, because the second part of this story is going to break it all down. Because now we dive into the heart of the matter, the real weight of what trading Mark Andrews would mean for the Ravens, both on the field and in the locker room. This isn't just about stats, salary caps, or trade deadlines. It's about the fabric of the offense, the connection between quarterback and tight end, and the signal it would send to the rest of the league and the locker room. First, let's talk about the impact on Lamar Jackson. The chemistry between Lamar and Andrews isn't something you can replicate overnight. It's been built over years of reps, late-night film sessions, and in-game adjustments. Andrews has been Lamar's safety valve, red zone weapon, and go-to guy when the pocket collapses. If you trade that away, even for decent value, you risk disrupting the rhythm of the offense just when it's finally stacked with complementary weapons like Zay Flowers, DeAndre Hopkins, and Isaiah Likely. Can Likely step up and take over that TE1 role full-time? He's shown flashes, but we haven't seen him handle the volume or pressure that Andrews takes on weekly. Then there's the leadership angle. Mark Andrews is more than just a player. He's a tone setter. He's one of those guys who leads by example, tough, consistent, and focused. Losing him mid-season wouldn't just change the offensive scheme, it could shift the emotional temperature of the team. That kind of loss resonates beyond the stat sheet. You need veteran voices when the season gets deep and the stakes get higher. Would the front office really risk that, even for the right deal? Let's consider the financial side. Andrews' contract isn't outrageous for an elite tight end. His cap number doesn't cripple the team's flexibility the way a star receiver's might. So trading him wouldn't be about money, it would be about belief. Belief that Likely is ready. Belief that this offense is deep enough and versatile enough to survive without one of its central pillars. And belief that what you get back in return, whether it's a top cornerback, a pass rusher, or a high draft pick, can fill a more urgent gap. And speaking of gaps, let's turn to the cornerback room. The suggestion of trading for someone like Jaire Alexander or Jalen Ramsey isn't a coincidence. That's one of the few areas where the Ravens could upgrade immediately and significantly. The current cornerback unit doesn't scream Super Bowl contender. It's solid, but there's a lack of depth and shutdown talent. If a contending team came calling needing a tight end and offering a Pro Bowl level corner in return, that's when the conversation around Andrews becomes real. You'd be solving a problem and reshaping the team in one move. Now, here's the wild card. What if the Ravens are cruising at midseason? Let's say they're 7-1 or 6-2, leading the division and firing on all cylinders. Do you shake up that momentum to take a swing at a trade? Or do you ride with what's working, even if it means standing pat while other contenders make big moves? That's the tough decision a front office has to make. Do you gamble on short-term stability or long-term upside? It also matters who steps up by that point. If Likely is blossoming into a top-tier tight end and Flowers and Hopkins are dominating the outside, the pressure to hold on to Andrews weakens. But if the offense is still relying heavily on Andrews to move the chains and score in the red zone, pulling the plug could